How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Pretty Pink Unicorn. Today we are going to be reviewing Bioware's open world, always online, third-person co-op shooter, Anthem. At the moment, Anthem is in beta access, so some things in this review are subject to change. That being said, let's get straight into the review.
That's a great idea.
You start off the game by deciding what gender you want to play as. There are two voices, a male voice and a female one. After you choose, you are briefed by pop-up windows on the controls, and then you are given your own Iron Man suit called a Javelin. After you acquire your Javelin, you embark on a mission that explains the basics of the game and introduces you to the combat. The combat works like this. You find a certain item, and then you fend off waves of enemies until a timer reaches 0. Or you fight a bunch of bad guys, and then you fight a unique boss as he tries to kill you. Anyone who has played games like Destiny or Warframe will feel right at home, as this gameplay is very, very similar. In Anthem, there are 4 different types of javelins: the Ranger, Colossus, Storm, and Interceptor. Each has a different prioritized combat style. The Ranger is a jack of all trades, but by no means bad. Fast, but also strong. Then there's the Colossus. He's the Hulk of the group. Very strong, but a little bit slow. He does have some sweet weapons that are unique to him, though, such as a flamethrower and railgun, among many other things. Then there's Storm. He's the magic-like javelin. He uses elemental splash damage powers in a high-damage, low-armor playstyle, and is a must-have for any team. And finally, my personal favorite, the Interceptor. The Interceptor is the fastest class, but also by far the weakest. Used correctly, the Interceptor is very fun. However, it must be used carefully, as it can easily become overpowered. But don't get too excited, because in Anthem's pre-launch demo, you are forced to use the Ranger until you reach rank 12, where you may then choose one of the remaining 3 Javelins to play with as well. However, if you purchase the game, all 4 Javelins are available to you. Now, the Javelins are pretty self-explanatory, but there's a few things that you'll want to know about them. First off, all Javelins have a unique ultimate ability that perfectly counteracts its weakness. For example, the Interceptor's ultimate makes it invulnerable to damage and gives it super powerful dual swords, perfectly counteracting its weakness of being too close to people. Chaining your team's ultimate abilities together can be extremely effective, so playing with friends is highly recommended. Also, every Javelin can fly for an extended period of time, but after a while it will get overheated and drop to the ground.
Anthem doesn't have fall damage, by the way. Super sweet feature. Thank you, Bioware.
To prevent your Javelin from overheating, you can do 2 things. First, you can fly above a river, which halts the overheating process, or you can fly through a waterfall, which negates the overheating process back to 0. This is important to remember, as you will be flying around a lot, and overheating can get very frustrating. Now for one of my favorite parts, the story and setting of the game. Anthem is a world that is forgotten by the gods in its lore. There's a tool called the Anthem of Creation that the gods use to create life and shape the world of Anthem. But for an unknown reason, the gods left. This has allowed terrifying monsters to rule the landscape that must be hunted down by the Javelins. You play as the killer of bad guys, essentially. Or at least that's all the game tells you in the beginning. There isn't much backstory in the demo, but there are hints of a larger story that will be fleshed out in the full game when it releases on the 22nd of February. Now that you have a feel for the game's setting, let's talk about the movement. Alright man, what the heck happened here movement-wise? The game feels fine, I'd even say it feels good, but what the heck is up with this whole mouse smoothing thing? When I stop moving my mouse, I don't like how it slowly stops moving the crosshair. I would really prefer if it was an instant response, because that's what I'm used to in shooters. Now that being said, the game still isn't too hard to control, but underwater, it's amplified to the point that it is nearly impossible to keep your sense of the direction. So I can't go underwater and look at this beautiful game without getting frustrated, which is really unfortunate because the game is gorgeous. Speaking about the gorgeous scenery, let's talk about the motion blur real quick. There's a setting to turn it off. I turned it off, restarted my game, and it's still on. What the heck is up with that, man? Motion blur sucks. So if you guys could fix that, that would be sweet. Beyond those 2 nitpicky things, controls totally fine. Now, Anthem was published by EA. What does this mean? Nothing, except for the fact that EA is famous for screwing people over. So let's talk about the pay-to-win system real quick. This is the demo. So the price of everything is 25 coins. This is not what it will be in the full game when it is released. I say this because nobody actually knows how much everything is going to cost when the game is released. Now, there's 2 different types of currencies in Anthem, coins and shards. Coins are earned by completing missions, doing challenges, tackling contracts, and wiping your bum after you go potty. I mean, seriously, dude, you earn money for absolutely everything, and I love it. I think it's really well done. Shards, on the other hand, can only be acquired with real money. However, here's the kicker. As of right now, and hopefully it stays this way, shards can only buy the exact same items that coins can buy. And coins can only buy non-stat changing cosmetics. What does this mean? Essentially, if you put a bunch of money in this game, the only thing that you will have as an advantage over someone else is your outfit will look a little bit more snazzy. There is no pay-to-win aspect. Please, EA, keep it this way. I can tell you all the facts in the world about a game, but what it comes down to is how is it when you actually play it. So now that we have all that other stuff out of the way, here's my honest thoughts about the game. It's freaking amazing! Huge monsters in some boss fights, there's varied enemies, all 4 playable classes' powers complement each other perfectly, the multiple choice NPC dialogue is totally hilarious, and I am loving to see more of this when the full game comes out. On top of this, if you play with friends, you earn coins. And the higher rank you and your friends are, the more coins you get. What does this mean? It means that the more you play, the more money you earn. Also, the day-night cycle is the same for everyone in the game, no matter where they are in the world. I think that is awesome. But here is the kicker for me. I've played Warframe, and I just felt a little bit overwhelmed, and I just couldn't get into the game. Destiny seemed a little bit too basic and didn't have enough to offer. And I don't know what it is about Anthem, but it just works. I find myself getting sucked in this game in a way I haven't felt since I played The Witcher 3 like a year and a half ago. If you are looking to play a game that just makes sense, is not too hard to understand, but has enough depth to be interested to play it for hours, I highly recommend picking up Anthem. In conclusion, what is my rating for this game in its current state? A solid 9 out of 10. That being said, I believe that could drastically change its score for the worse if EA screws this up. So here is my final message.
EA, don't screw this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nate, and until next time, happy gaming.